This is for By Golly by Gum. I'm going to show you how to get this started. The formula you're going to use for the data table here. I'm going to give you an example using this table here. So if you haven't printed out By Golly by Gum from online, make sure you do that first. And you're going to write down the formula I use here. What I don't want you to write down is what I put in these boxes. You're going to also download the makeup data and you can use that data, but I'm going to pretend I'm doing the lab and give you an example at least up to time 2 here so you can see how to do the calculations, and then use the data that you get from the lab, the makeup data lab, to actually fill yours in. What we're going to do is compare sugar gum, this is the sugar gum, to non-sugar gum. We're going to chew the gum and see which loses more sweetener after 10 minutes. So the first thing we're going to do is write down the formula we're going to use to calculate the percent sugar lost. And the formula is starting mass, so you can write this on your paper, starting mass that's at time 0, I'll just write T0 for time 0, minus the ending mass, and that would be whatever the current time is on your chart. So I wrote current time, divided by, and you're going to want to do the top line first, do the subtraction first, that's why I'm adding extra parentheses, divided by the starting mass, and again that's times 0, so I'll write times 0. So notice these two numbers are going to be the same in the formula, and then of course for a percent you times by 100. So what I'm going to do is pretend that I'm doing the lab. I'm going to do the first 2 lines. Again, don't do this, just watch what I do, and then download the makeup data, and you can use the makeup data to do all the calculations. So we're going to start with the sugar gum. And the first thing we need to do is figure out the mass of the gum. I didn't zero the scale, so let's do that first. It says mass of gum with wrapper, so we're going to put the gum on the wrapper here. And I get 3.0 grams. Again, just watch what we do so you understand how to do the lab. Do not write what I'm writing now. Okay? You can download the makeup data for that. All right. Now I'm going to figure out the mass of the gum, but first I need to figure out the mass of the wrapper. I don't want to put the gum on the balance. So that's 0.2 grams. I'm going to subtract those two, and I find out that the mass of just the gum is 2.8 grams. Now we haven't chewed the gum yet, so just by logic you should be able to know that no sweetener was lost in the gum or swallowed when we were chewing it because we haven't chewed it yet. But the math formula that I gave you will prove that mathematically. So we're going to use that. Starting mass of the gum is 2.8 grams. So 2.8 grams minus the ending mass. We haven't chewed it yet, so that is the ending mass, 2.8 grams, divided by the starting mass. That's still the starting mass, 2.8 grams, times 100. 2.8 minus 2.8 is equal to 0, divided by 2.8 equals 0, times 100 equals 0. So 0% of the sweetener has been swallowed. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to chew the gum for 2 minutes and then retake its mass. So the gum wrapper is still going to be 0.2 grams, so I'm just going to copy this down, 0.2 grams. And I'm going to chew for 2 minutes. And we're going to retake the mass over here. Now I'm going to speed it up. I'm not going to wait 2 minutes. You're going to get bored. So I'm just going to chew it to give you an idea. That probably sounds disgusting. Pretty good gum though. All right, let you see. Hi, pretty good. All right, so let's just pretend it's been 2 minutes. Yum. And what you're going to see is it probably already lost mass just in that short amount of time. Not a whole lot. I'm down to 2.9 grams. So I'm going to write 2.9 grams here. I'm going to subtract the 2 grams, and I end up with 2.7 grams. Okay. So now, the formula we're going to use, it says starting mass. This is the starting mass for the whole thing. I'm going to box this in. We're going to use this number that I boxed in all the way down the page. So 2.8 grams minus, this is my ending mass now, 2.7 grams, divided by my starting mass of 2.8 grams, times 100. So we're going to plug that into a calculator. 2.8 minus 2.7 equals 0.1 grams, divided by 2.8 equals times 100 equals. So we lost, I swallowed 3.6% of the total mass of the gum. So what you're going to do is you're going to use this idea, download the data, use that idea to do the sugar gum, and then on the back of the page you do the non-sugar gum, and you compare which one lost more mass.